Welcome to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast, featuring in-depth interviews with people in hip-hop culture, based out of New England. Let's try this again. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast. Can you hear me?
I hear you clearly.
Clearly. All right. We have a very special guest, rapper in the building, Meyhem Lauren, here from live from DJ Muggs' studio. How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling, man. Just getting work done, man. Like I said, a wise man once told me the reward for good work is the opportunity to do more work. So, shit, just working, keeping it moving.
You are a worker. Can we get a little shot of what the studio looks like at Muggs' right now?
Oh, man, this is just the third room. This is the smallest room. The studio's like basically a compound, but they're out there filming like a little mini movie on Muggs is working on some stuff, so that's why I just took it to the back. But yeah.
Word. So yeah, I want to talk about Queens real quick. Growing up there, what's that like?
I mean, it's a good place, man. It's just the most diverse place in the world. You just meet everyone. You learn how to deal with everybody, and you learn the whole world growing up in Queens. You know, even when we were on TV and like when we were doing Fuck That's Delicious, and we go to different countries and continents, like. And people would think they were introducing us to something brand new. They'd be like, yo, how do you know about this? And we'd be like, yo, we grew up in Queens. My neighbor had this. You know what I mean? It's just kind of how it went down.
Yeah. How accurate is the Coming to America movie?
I mean, it's pretty accurate, man. It's one of the best movies of all time. I ain't even bothered to see the remake, though. I heard it was going to upset me. So I'm going to just keep it with the classic, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see all the characters, but it just wasn't as funny. You know,
yo, a remake. I can't think of one remake that is actually as good as the original.
I probably could think of some, but I'd have to give it some time. I don't want to waste it.
And I say that in movies and musically.
Really?
Tell me a part two that's as good as the first one.
A movie?
A movie and music. Both.
Yeah. Terminator 2 and Terminator 1 is a tough one.
I give you that.
That's a tough call. They're almost two different movies because Schwarzenegger isn't the villain in the second one. Yeah, so it's almost like two different things.
You know what? Ghostbusters 2 is better than the first one also. Ghostbusters 2 is my shit. It's
been a while. What about Dark Knight and Batman?
They're about even. They're both good though.
Yeah, I'm sure we could maybe think of a couple, but albums though, sequels, albums. I mean, that doesn't really work.
Nah.
No. Talk about, I realized a lot of your career, at the beginning of your career, you came up doing the J Love mixtapes. That was talk about that experience and what that was like.
Yeah, it was just dope. It was basically like, my first window into seeing everything, seeing how things went at the time. And, I got to host a bunch of mixtapes. The first beats I ever rhymed on with J Love beats. J Love's a very slept on producer, and yeah, it was good, man. It was a good era.
Talk about the significance of those mixtapes back then for a lot of people that don't know. Like,
back then, I'm gonna keep it above those mixtapes for everything because hip hop was transitioning and going in different directions, and like J Love tapes kind of held it down where you were only gonna get like the real, the raw, unfiltered, quote unquote, real hip hop. Like like if that's what you were looking for at a time when music was shaky, that's what you were gonna get. And it was important, man. He definitely filled the void, 1000%.
Why do you think music was shaky at that time?
It was just a transitional period in terms of like, things going more from East and West Coast to the South was kind of taking over. People were like imitating that. And then the whole business, even, mixtapes and CDs were kind of going away. We were going into the digital realm. It was a transitional phase from all aspects, like in my opinion, looking back now. At the time I didn't realize that, but there was just a lot of change there. But now we're here. Evolve or dissolve. You know what it is? That's what it is. You got to just figure it out and, move with it.
You put out that video, Got the Fever, about graffiti. and Complex gave it a huge review, which was huge back, especially big back then too. And now it's got millions and millions of views. Is that one of your more successful tracks? Looking back on it, I mean, it's pretty big.
Yo, 100%, and that's probably my number one track overseas because the graffiti culture is really big there. Like the Renaissance that New York had in like the 70s and the 80s is kind of what's going on now in these other countries. But the thing about graffiti is, right, it's a subculture. And if you're not involved, you may not understand the significance or the impact that it has, but it kind of ties, I can't think of anything that ties more different groups of people together. Like you got every class that does it. I know kids who grew up rich that do graffiti. I know kids who grew up poor that do graffiti. I know all races, all ethnicities, people from everywhere. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, even in terms of the people I know in my life now, if I was to do like a 6 degrees of separation, I could trace almost everything back to graffiti. Like, oh, I met this person because he was cool with this person who wrote, or I know this neighborhood, or I met these people because I was over here looking at this train line, or, bombing this boulevard. And that's how I know the kids from over here. And then you grow up and it turns into other things. And, but graffiti it's important, man. It's a little secret community.
Yeah, definitely secret.
Yeah.
For legal purposes. The name Meyhem Lauren, how'd you come across that? How'd you get that?
Man, I used to go by May. It was like May Low, and then Meyhem Lauren is just the grown version of May Low. It just grew, man. The May got the hem, the Low came to Lauren, and now we here.
I thought the Lauren was because of Polo.
Yeah, but so was the Low, because that's what like you call Polo coming up in New York. You just said the end of it. You didn't say Polo. You just called it Low.
Oh, you got the Low.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like we got grown from Low to Lauren. Like.
Do you wear only Polo?
Nah, not at all. I mean, at one point in my life, probably, but it's probably around like if you were to break down my closet or wardrobe, it's probably like 70% of what's in there. But it's like the basis, it's the foundation. But yeah, I like all kind of things, man.
The Polo, I do know people that wear just Polo, like boxers, socks. Like that's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Why Polo? What makes it so special? What makes Polo so great?
I mean, they did. Honestly, if I start talking about Polo, this whole podcast will end up about Polo. So I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But like first off, it was again like graffiti was a subculture community. It was a smaller thing that grew. But what I will say is, as I get older, is one thing that I always like about Polo and Ralph Lauren in general, and it's crazy. I try to like base myself and like even my music to an extent with the business model that he makes timeless things. He makes classic things. So it's like if you wore Polo 30 years ago, you'd be in style. If you wear Polo 30 years from now, you'll be in style. Like, sure, things come and go and something might be number one at the time, but you're always going to be good if you got just classic traditional things. So I try to like base my career off that in a strange way, I don't really hop on the newest trends or whatever's what. I try to make timeless classic things and just stay in the mix,
Right. That's dope. I would have more Polo if I could afford it.
It's an annoying habit, man. I'm ran out of space, to be honest.
It's all good. I want to talk about your relationship with Action Bronson. You both are from Queens. How long have you known him? How did that relationship start?
That's my man. We known each other since we were 12 years old. Just two kids growing up, and we just we've been cool ever since. That's family, It's not even a friend. That's just family, man. We've been Thanksgivings, Christmases, and baby showers, and everything in between, man. That's just long time friend that'll be there forever.
I thought I read somewhere something that you motivated him to take the rapping more serious. Was that true?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I mean, basically, I rapped first,
right?
And he would always like, he didn't take it serious. He would freestyle, and he was dope. And I was kind of like, bro, you get in the booth and make this a priority too. And he did, and took that shit to the moon,
Right. Both of you did. Both of you guys hit the ground running.
No, 1,000%.
Yeah. So you guys, then you make your debut in was it 2000? You put your first album. Am I right saying your first album is 2014, Self-Induced Illness? Is that the first album?
Nah, see, self-induced illness hit streaming platforms probably 2014, but
Okay.
I actually put that album out. That was probably like '09.
Okay. The
09 or
same album?
2010. Yeah, same album. But
Okay.
yeah. But yeah. But again, a lot of people didn't have it or hear it at that time. But that was
Well,
recorded, yeah. Let's say around 2010 it came out.
well, like I say, the highlight, the thing I noticed the most about the album is the 41 songs that are on here. Is that a record? Is that a record for biggest hip hop at longest hip hop album of all time?
Honestly, I don't know, but I'm gonna be honest. Like at the time, I was still figuring it out and what to do. Like now, that album probably wouldn't have been 41 songs. I probably would have broken it down or trimmed the fat a little bit. Like, but you know, and not that there's much fat. Like I like the album, but I think at the time I had just been working for so long and figuring things out that I wanted to just get it all out so I could have a fresh start and a fresh mind state for the next project. So it was like this material I literally worked on for years. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just get everything out and then just on to the next.
I kind of figured that. I almost figured like you were taking like everything you had done or the best of from other mixtapes and stuff and just kind of put that out. But damn, yeah. I know box sets that are shorter than that, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was very generous then, man.
The show, so how did the show, you ended up on the show, the Fuck That's Delicious show. Let's talk about a couple of experiences there. I mean, what was that like being on that show and going around the world and all that?
I mean, it was amazing. It was just, you know, just a great opportunity, and it just changed a lot and just put a lot of things in perspective just on a worldly level. Like, you know, you think you understand the world or you know what's going on, but when you get a chance to see it and actually be there and live it, and like, come on, there's not an ocean I haven't swam in. That's crazy. I just feel different. You know what I mean? So it was just beautiful to get to just try authentic foods. You know, like we didn't just go to restaurants. We go to people's houses. We met, you know, human beings all over the world, and it definitely changed me as a person. It just made me just, you know, more open to things and just, you know, more thankful for everything going on. You know?
Yeah. What were some of the best things you ate? Highlights. I know you eat a lot of good stuff. So I'm curious.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it real. The show was called Fuck That's Delicious. So we didn't really eat a lot of bad things. So it's not like it was a Survivor and we're here just eating strange insects in the rainforest to win money at the end. Like, it might sound crazy, but anything that made it to camera was fire. Like if it wasn't delicious, if it wasn't A1, you probably didn't even see it, you know? And that happened rarely. Like, you know, most of these things were planned out and executed in a way so that everything was delicious.
Right. You have your own cooking thing now, right?
Yeah, I got two cooking shows on YouTube. I have one called Fridge Diving where I take things that are in the fridge and you know, make something out of it. And another show called Flavor in Your Ear where I only cook foods from song lyrics. Where like for example, like Biggie, like T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. So then, you know, I made that meal. Or like Dead Prez, like lentil soup is mental fruit. So then I made a lentil soup. Like, you know, anything from songs I cook, and you know, I have fun with it. It's just it's an interesting concept, and it's a way to just, you know, stay in the mix, man, stay relevant, give some content without oversaturating yourself with the music. You know, like I don't have to put out 30 mixtapes a year because I could breathe a little in between projects and then give you some food content, some cooking content, etc. So it's cool. It's just a way to stay in the mix, you know?
Yeah, you guys really had a good balance with that. You're able to do video, TV, and do rap. That's not it's not every rapper's scenario. You guys are really blessed to have that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, you gotta, when things happen, you gotta just take it and run with it. Like again, that was never in my game plan. I never planned to be on TV. I never planned to cook, have a cooking show. I just wanted to rap for real. And
right.
When you get opportunities, you know, doors open. Like for example, I do a lot of voiceovers too. I don't even know if you knew that.
I did know that. I was going to talk to you about that. You do stuff for the NFL and FIFA, right?
Yeah. I've done World Cup commercials, Super Bowl commercials. I just did a Nike commercial the other day, and again, none of it was a plan. It's not like I could. could tell you, like, write a book and say, hey, do this and these things will happen. It literally just happened.
Now, do you do it in your regular voice or do you emphasize it a little bit? Are you like?
I mean, that based on instruction, for the most part, it's my regular voice, but sometimes they'll say be laid back, be excited, be more announcer-esque. But they don't ask me to, like, do an impersonation of someone or put on a different voice,
Can we hear announcer-esque? I want to hear what Meyhem Lauren announcer-esque sounds like.
I mean, we gotta just go to these commercials. I can't do that right now. I gotta see the
Come on,
script.
off the top, right? Let's go off the top.
Let me close this door real quick. Hold on, because they're playing music.
He's like, I don't want anybody to hear this. He's like, I don't.
Nah, I'm not mad at it. It's just fun.
Were they recording a site?
Yeah, they're doing something. So I'll just.
They're recording another Cypress Hill album over there. What are they doing?
Nah, he's working on the Soul Assassins, man. Soul Assassins 3, and it's fire, man. Like, I don't want to spoil anything or mention anything he hasn't yet to the public, but yo, he got another one. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I'm gonna say this because we're talking about Muggs. I mean, obviously, Muggs, icon, producer, Cypress Hill. You link up with him and create this excellent relationship and put out first album, and now this is the second one that's just come out. Forgive me, I don't want to screw up the names. Say the names again.
Oh, and I go through me and Muggs. We started off, the first one was Gems from the Equinox.
There, I got that. Gems from the Equinox.
Then we did an EP called Frozen Angels.
Right.
Then we did the EP Members Only with the CCC, Classic Car Club in Manhattan. It's all like car based music, and we sample noises from the cars and the beats. It was like a cool project. And now we did the Muggs Madlib Champagne for Breakfast.
Yep.
That's the latest one. And me and Muggs probably, no lie, got like 40, 50 songs in the tuck right now. We just figuring out what to do with it, man. I come out here often, and we work a lot. Anytime that I come to this side of town, we just make it a point to knock out 3-4 songs a trip. And before you know it, at the end of the year, we got a bunch of bangers,
How did the relationship start? How did you meet him and start working together?
Damn. All right. So I want to say maybe like 2013. 2013, I think he came to Alchemist crib to play beats for Action. Actually, Action was working on I think Mr. Wonderful at that time. And it was a long day, and Ack had passed out. There was a bunch of people in the crib. I know Ack was there, Schoolboy Q was there, Mac Miller was there, rest in peace. And everyone kind of knocked out. And I was the only one awake. Muggs didn't even know who I was at that point. And I introduced myself, played him some shit. He was like, yo, this is dope. Well, everyone's knocked out, bro. Let's work. So in my head, I'm like, damn, Muggs just wants to play beats. I'm a rap. So we knocked out 2 songs immediately. Action jumped on one of them. And I ain't talked to Muggs for like a year. He just went his way one mind. Then out the blue, he emailed me like, yo, I've been caught up this last year. Those songs we did are dope. We should do a project. And it just happened organically. And then it's like, as time, passed, he became one of my closest friends. Like I spent a lot of time with him, and we kick it, not even on some rap shit. Like that's the homie, man. Muggs is like somebody I grew up with. Like I got that love for Muggs like I have for like the dudes that I came up with, which is rare in music. Like you make friends and you get cool with people, but like that's family right there, And I think it makes our music better too,
Absolutely. Favorite Cypress Hill album?
Yo, damn, man, that's a hard one. Probably Black Sunday. Probably Black Sunday. I guess just the age thing. Like the first one is amazing, but like Black Sunday, I remember more like vividly, like being outside and living with it and like having it in a Walkman and like, you know what I mean? When it dropped. Yeah. Dope.
So besides Muggs, I mean, the list of people you've worked with, I'm probably going to miss a few. Buck Wild, P.F. Cuttin, Smoke Dizza, Sean Price, Rock Marciano, Harry Fraud, Westside Gun, Nems, Derringer, Madlib. Did I forget anybody?
Yeah, there's a bunch more, but shout out to all those people, all those high quality humans, A1 artists, and I'm just glad to break bread and work with them.
Oh, yeah, I want to go back. Before I go back into this, I want to go back on the new one, Champagne for Breakfast. The combination of Madlib and Muggs, how did that work, the dynamic?
So basically, I was working on a new album with Muggs,
Right.
and I was working on a new album with Madlib.
Right.
So we ended up in the same room together, just trying to narrow them down. Like me and Madlib were playing Muggs joints we had. Me and Muggs were playing Madlib joints that we had. And kind of like it was just like a light bulb, above someone's head. Like, yo, why don't we do a May Muggs and Madlib before we put out this May and Muggs solo and May and Madlib solo? Like, why don't we do one, all three of us? So we picked a couple joints from each of the projects, and then we just worked on some new ones. It was quick. It was simple. It was effortless,
So the album, they're individually produced tracks. They're not collaborative productions.
You know what? Some of them are, because sometimes they were in the room together, and Madlib might be like, switch these drums, or Muggs might be like, add this vocal sample.
Okay.
But for the most part, they're, a Muggs beat or a Madlib beat. But they did give each other input when they were in the room together.
That must have been crazy experience.
Yeah.
Like, I love those two producers. I mean, work with them both at the same individually is crazy, but then at the same time, I mean, that's amazing.
Nah, it's dope, But you don't think about it when you're in the moment. Like sometimes you pause and look back, like, wow, that was crazy. But in the moment, it's just like, oh, we're working on something, man. Let's focus on the work. Let's just,
Is that how you feel about all these other people I just listed, working with all these people?
Yeah, of course, man. Like definitely, man. Still sharp still. Like I try to work with the best, man. They bring the best out of me. Be it in an MC or a producer, like, try to rock with people who inspire you.
I mean, the list is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton more also, but that's. So
what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Who am I listening?
Oh man, I don't even, bro. So many people, man. Like, there's more. I don't want to start listing them because then I'm gonna forget somebody, and then they're gonna text me later like, "Yo, man, you remembered everybody but me." Like, rappers are the most sensitive creatures on earth.
Are you? Is that what you're saying? You're a sensitive person?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about in general.
What's up? What do we got else in the pipeline? Because I know you're definitely probably working on 17 albums at the same time.
Yeah, something like that. Like basically, another Muggs album is pretty much done.
Yep.
The Madlib album is done.
Yep.
And I'm back in the lab. I just got up with Fraud the other day. I got a bunch of beats from him.
I want to talk about that real quick. I want to go back because I forgot I was going to mention it. Talk about working with Fraud, because that's some of my favorite work of yours that you did on that album.
Nah, I mean, Fraud is the man, bro. Fraud is just like, we were coming up in the same era. I was coming up, rapping. He was coming up as a producer, and we just linked kind of early in our careers. We've been close friends ever since, man. That's my man. Like I can't stress that enough. I'm fortunate to the point where like the majority of the people I work with have become family over time. Like it's just like, it's not just work, which is cool. Sometimes work is just work, but like with dudes like Fraud and like most of the names on that list, like, yo, we rock together for real.
Well, I think it also speaks to your personality, man. Like you're pretty friendly guy. You're not a standoff rapper asshole. I'll tell you that. I met a lot of assholes.
Yeah.
You are like, you show everybody love. You show everybody love. From what I've seen.
No, I definitely do, and that's just the way that I am. But let me defend like the standoff rapper and the asshole, because I actually get it more as time passes. It's just not my demeanor, so I'm not gonna be on that type of time. But I get it, because it's almost like if you show too much love or you compliment someone, it's like next thing you know, people got their hand out, and then it gets tricky. It's like you tell someone, yo, you killed that verse, and then next time you see them, they're like, yo, we need to do an album together. And then if you say no, then you're funny. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, like weird shit happens. So I kind of get why sometimes people can't show love either, because it turns into something else. But I'm gonna show love forever. That's just me. But I get the other side.
I feel like that's part of your superpower, to be honest. I think your personality mixed with your rhyming is your superpower. Like, because if your personality wasn't so cool and showing everybody love and respect, it might have hold you back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your relationships. I mean, you talk about these people being friends. You know what I mean? And that's just not, this work. That's just not as common as work relationships. Yeah, but you've created great bonds with these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, and you've always been cool with me, and I've seen how you conduct yourself. I mean, it's impressive. So
No, I
thank you for that.
appreciate you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Good looking, man.
Because I think people forget that in this industry that relationships are huge, right? So like the business might get a little shaky or crazy, but if you maintain the respect in the relationship, things can get resolved and fixed. You know what I mean?
100%. I'm gonna tell you something like that again. Shout out to my man Muggs, man. Just he's dropped a lot of jewels on me over time and put me onto a lot of things. But one of the realest things he ever said to me is he's like, yo, if you're hot, if you're on fire, if your music's good, you're gonna get your 5 years no matter what. But he's like, these people who are performing for 20 years, 30 years, they're the ones that are easy to deal with. That's the difference between, you know, like again, you could be on top of the world, shit on everybody, you're still gonna shine, you're still gonna get shows, you're still gonna get love. But once that's over, it's over. But it's the good people and the people who people like to work with that are gonna do these shows, these festivals, put out these projects forever, you know?
Right. I think that's very important, man, because I've seen a lot of people that have been in the game for 20, 30 years and worked with a lot of them doing shows. And Muggs is absolutely right. The cool ones that keep going, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and, you know, if you're easy to work with, people are going to want to work with you.
At the end of the day, people forget, man, this is still a job. It's a special job, and it's like an amazing opportunity, but it's still work. There's still a way to conduct yourself. It's still, you know, you gotta shoot, you gotta interview, you gotta show up on time. Even though I was 15 minutes late, I understand the importance of showing up on time, though. You know what I mean? Like, this is a job.
Right. And you take it very serious.
Yeah.
I mean, where's your head at these days? What are you thinking? As far as the game?
I'm gonna keep going, man. I got, like I said, I got a ton of projects in the works. I want to start doing more behind the scenes things. I want to start putting out more compilations, maybe producing things for other artists, you know, doing collabs. Like, I'm not necessarily trying to like sign and lock artists in, but if they trust me to give them some type of direction and A&R work, you know, I want to, you know, do some things like that and just keep it rocking how it's going, man. I want to up my output also. I want to start to put out, man, maybe 3-4 projects a year. I'm thinking, you know, almost quarterly. You know, just
I thought you were already doing that. I mean, you've been moving at a high speed already.
Yeah, but I'm trying to step it up.
Oh,
you know,
why more? Like, why put out more? Why not make? You know, do you subscribe to that theory of more albums is what's needed versus maybe make one that's got more songs on it? That's, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, there's not one theory. You know, different things work for different people.
Right.
But I mean, I think that you should put out more, but I think maybe some projects you should put more into. You know what I mean? Like, no, okay, I plan on touring off this one, or I need to put a little more press behind this. I need to spend a little more on these videos. But I think you need to just stay active because, man, it's just a different era. Things come out at such a rapid pace, and people's attention span isn't what it used to be. You got to just stay there, you know?
Are you funding your whole career?
Yeah, definitely.
So no label behind you, no nothing?
Nah. I mean, it's easy to figure out though, man. When once you make some money, invest in yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the people that I work with, you know, those are their partnerships. So it's good people, man. We could each throw in X amount and make a, you know, X times X at the end of it. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about do you like being independent? Do you like the situation you're in? What is the ups and downs of that?
Yeah. I mean, I can only, yeah. I mean, I do. It's amazing. Like, you know, I work for myself. I don't, yeah. I mean, basically, long story short, yeah, I do like it. It's, you know, you get what you put into it. And one thing I like is it gives me accountability. My bad, because if something goes wrong, I can't blame the label or, yo, you made me pick these beats or you made me do this. Like, nah, anything that I do right, I own that, and you know, I'll champion myself. And anything I do wrong, I say, damn, man, you fucked up. Let's not do it like this the next go around. You know?
Because you saw probably Action with his major label deal. Did you see, like, did you look at it and say, hey, I wouldn't want this. Like, this is too much?
I mean, yo, honestly, I'll tell you that I did. If I was an artist right now, right, coming out right now, if this was year one of my career, my ideal scenario would be to get signed to a major for one album, get that energy behind me, let the machine give you that push that you're only really going to get from them, and then go indie.
Yeah.
You know, in an unrealistic, like that would be an ideal scenario. But I like what I've done, man. I built something. I did took it slow. It's like when you build something from the bottom, no one can really take it from you. Only you can mess it up. You know?
I feel that, man. We're gonna end it on that because that's a great line, man. I want to really appreciate you for your time today, man. I really do. And congrats on the success of the new album and everything. And
nah, man. Thank you for everything. And we'll
anything
catch
else
up
you want
soon,
to
man.
anything else you want to plug?
Nah, man. Let's focus on Champagne for Breakfast, man. Meyhem Muggs Madlib. Champagne for Breakfast out now.
Damn. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast with Mr. Meyhem Lauren. We'll talk soon, brother.
Appreciate you. Peace.
All right.